My name is Ed Balls. I'm the Labour and Co-operative MP for Morley and Outwood in Yorkshire. I'm the Shadow Chancellor for the Labour Party. I'm actually the first ever Co-operative MP to be the Shadow Chancellor, and very pleased to be back here in Scotland for what is always a highlight of our year, the Co-operative Conference. Well, Ed Miliband and I have both said that we want expanding the role of cooperatives and mutuals to be at the heart of our manifesto. That's why the policy debates happening here at this conference are very important. It's why we've asked, with the Co-operative Party, Peter Hunt, the former General Secretary, to do some work for us on what more policy barriers we need to tackle to expand the role of mutuals, particularly in financial services, but more widely as well. Both Ed and I have met with the network of cooperative councils and work which is going on at the moment looking at local government reform. One of the cooperative council leaders from Stevenage is part of that, Sharon. So there's a number of ways in which we're making sure that cooperatives and mutuals are at the heart of our thinking. We want to guarantee a job for every young person. We can't have people languishing in unemployment for years. It's a terrible waste for our country and a disaster for them. And so we're going to say at 12 months we'll guarantee a job for every young person, and those would be jobs which would have a proper wage, and in the private sector or in the voluntary sector, or in the mutual sector, the public sector as well. We need everybody pulling together, and there's definitely an important role for cooperatives and mutuals in providing those jobs. Well, look, the fabulous news, which I just learned today, is that former Remploy factory, which I'm formally opening next Friday as a mutual, continuing to play that role for people with disabilities and serving businesses in our area. It's actually just been awarded the Yorkshire and Humber Mutual of the Year, so fabulous news. It shows that from a disastrous decision to scrap Remploy from Ian Duncan Smith, we're using kind of local leadership and entrepreneurialism through our local mutual to get people the jobs they need. So I'm very pleased about that. I think there's some particular issues around where which regulation and capital raising works. I think we've seen some of those barriers over the last few months as the government has been taking forward some of their Vickers reforms to the financial services industry. They haven't understood that the particular nature of the mutual model means that the kind of capital structures are different. There was a big danger that Nationwide, for example, was going to be very badly disadvantaged, and after some important pressure from all of us, I think the government's looking at that again. But that's just one example where mutuals are different. They have a different capital structure. It means that they have different capital needs and capital raising mechanisms, and that's something which the law and regulation has to take properly into account. That's one of the issues I've asked Peter Hunt to look at for us. Well, look, we were disappointed that when Northern Rock came back into out of the public sector, it didn't happen in a way where a mutual was given a fair chance. Clearly, we've had major regulatory failures following the cooperative Britannia merger as well, which sort of need to be properly understood. But there is, as a result of the divestment of those Lloyds branches not going ahead in the way in which we were all hoping for through an expansion of mutual branches, we're ending up with less competition on the high street and less of a role for mutuals, and we want the opposite on both fronts. So we're looking at ways in which we can have more challenger banks, not less, more diversity and choice for consumers, and I would like to find ways in which we can get more mutuals into our financial services sector. That's something Chris and I are very committed to.